Across the North Atlantic lies the last frontier, Greenland. Greenland is the largest island on Earth. Greenland was first settled by an expedition led by Norwegian Viking Eric the Red in 984. Viking settlements were maintained in Greenland until the 1400s, when they disappeared for unknown reasons. In 1917, when the United States bought the Virgin Islands from Denmark, we made an agreement that Denmark would be the owner of Greenland. When World War II broke out, as Denmark was overrun by Germany, the United States went into Greenland to make sure that Germany could not take over the island. The U.S. and Denmark then formalized an agreement that permitted the U.S. to establish military bases in Greenland. In 1953, the U.S. built Thule Air Force Base in northern Greenland. That base ultimately employed 1,000 Greenlanders and housed 10,000 Americans on the base. At the end of the Cold War in 1989, the U.S. had up to 50 bases in Greenland. Many of those bases were subsequently closed. Greenlanders were disappointed by the lack of U.S. interest in maintaining ongoing ties. Greenlanders are all European Union citizens, and the island gets approximately $500 million a year in Danish support. China has tried to buy into Greenland, offering to invest in airports and other types of infrastructure. That offer was turned down by Denmark after pressure was applied by the U.S. The U.S. has tried to buy Greenland on several occasions. As far back as 1867, William Seward, Secretary of State under Lincoln, considered the idea of annexing both Greenland and Iceland, but made no offer. In 1946, the U.S. offered $100 million to Denmark for Greenland, but the Danes rejected the offer. In 2018, the Trump administration began discussing the possibility of acquiring Greenland. U.S. Senator Tom Cotton discussed this with the Danish ambassador, but got a negative response. Danish politicians then unanimously rejected any offer to buy Greenland, and that led to a disruption in U.S.-Denmark relations. Since 2010, Greenlanders have had the power to separately negotiate with the United States.
Godfather, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
If Greenland was a separate country, it would have the highest suicide rate in the world. When the Danish argue that everything is great in Greenland, a suicide rate of 6 times the U.S. is not a consideration. But what if the U.S. offered every Greenlander, every man, woman, and child, $1 million and a continuation of all benefits currently received from Denmark? Could that give Greenlanders hope?
Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
If the United States made them an offer they could not refuse, Greenland could become a U.S. possession, leading to its ultimate conversion to a U.S. state. Let's hear what President Trump thinks about this situation.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't.
With the new Trump administration, discussion has resumed about U.S. possession of Greenland. One of the first diplomatic outreaches upon taking office was a trip to Greenland by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance touched down at the U.S. space base here in March.
It's cold as shit here.
Discussions on this subject in the Trump administration are ongoing. If Greenland is to become part of the U.S., the people of Greenland will decide it, not Denmark or the EU.